is a framework, no? Primarily it's a framework by the DFAT or yung Australian government na the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade nila. They initiated most of the initiated programs and practices on GEDC in the Philippines ay supported by the DFAT, no? So yung GEDC is it's a framework on the continuing effort, no, in not only in the Civil Service Commission, not only in the government, but in the entire in our entire attempt to address inequalities, no, in all aspects of the social life, not only a social life but economic, political, and cultural as well. But primarily for this session, I will try to put the ZC in light of the Civil Service Commission's attempt or initiative to include it in their program to institutionalize meritocracy. So yung prime HRM, no? So itong ating tinatawag na ZC ay isa siya doon sa nakalagay ngayon na kailangang ma-incorporate natin doon sa mga ginagawa natin in relation to our accreditation for this from the Civil Service Commission. So what are the objectives of this presentation? One is for us to understand what is primarily what's GEDC. No, we need to understand bakit hindi sapat yung equal opportunity principle. Why is it that we need to understand GEDC? Okay, I will discuss that later. And then of course we will discuss the principles behind the GEDC and know why it is part of the the Philippine Civil Service Commission's prime HRM, no? So ang latest issuance of the Civil Service Commission that more or less tackled not directly tackled but requires yung ating GEDC is the MC1 of 2021. Matagal na kasi ang prime parang 2012 pa. So eventually nag-evolve din ang prime. So this time in 2021, no, they issued this memorandum circular addressed to all heads of constitutional bodies and bureaus and departments, kasama na ang DepEd, and the subject of the memo circular is the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management, HRM, and there's a revised guidelines on the conferment of HR recognitions and award, yung praise award, no? So doon nagsisimula lalo na napag-usapan itong tinatawag nating ZC, no? So una, I would like to share to you that yung prime HRM, this is not new, no? So take 2012 pa siya, but it evolved from the 1991 CSC Agency Accreditation Program to the 2004 Personnel Management Assessment and Assistance Program to the 2012 Prime HRM. So since 2012, we were trying to, in the Civil Service Commission, in the entire public service of the Philippines, we are trying to institutionalize meritocracy, o yung concept ng meritocracy in HR management, no? So when you talk about meritocracy kasi ang laki-laki nung kanyang sasakuping ibig sabihin. So from 2012, no, nag-evolve yung prime HRM, and the latest, the 2021 issuance, is about the rewards and recognition. And this time, no, kinailangan pag-usapan uli yung tinatawag nating GEDC. So the prime HRM presents a more progressive system of assessment as it entails greater engagement, not just of human resource management office, what used to be, no, but also of the officials and rank and file of the agency. So kung mapapansin nyo, what differs the prime HRM from the previous accreditation program, yung prime HRM, ginagawa niya, tinitignan din na, kinukuha na niya yung participation of officials and the rank and file. So mas consultative, mas participative siya of the entire bureaucracy. So hindi na lang siya yung mga dati pag accreditation program, yung mga tao lang sa HR ang namumroblema, how their processes, policies can be accredited by the Civil Service Commission. Ngayon, it entails the entire organization to really focus on accreditation. And this is the the framework of the prime, no? So the core HR system, syempre alam natin yan, from recruitment, selection and placement, to HRD learning and development processes and programs, to the performance management, and later on to the rewards and recognition. So mapapansin niyo ito yung trabaho ng entire HR systems natin. Not only in your organization or agency, but also the entire civil service agencies, no, or civil service, anong tawag dito, structures, no? So lahat tayo na nasa public office, covered tayo ng Civil Service Commission, so covered tayo ng Prime HRM, no? So tandaan natin, nananatili yung function ng ating HRM, recruitment, and then habang nasa loob na sila, lahat sa loob na yung ating mga workforce, yung ating employees, they need to be capacitated, hence the HRD learning and development. And of course, we need to measure your performance. Mapapansin nyo, meron kayong tinatawag na SPMS, o yung tinatawag natin performance management system, no? And then of course the rewards and recognition, which is primarily what you call the praise, no? So yung apat na HR core systems din, kino-cover lahat yan ng GEDC, because you cannot have GEDC alone in the rewards and recognition. You need to have the GEDC, the EOP, from the recruitment unto the recognition. Okay, so is equal opportunity principle enough to eliminate discrimination? What do you think? Okay, so I cannot see you right now. So pero what do you think? Yes or no? Pwede bang sabihin sa akin ng ating moderator sino kung ilan ang nag-raise ng nagsabi ng yes? Itaas ang kamay.
Itaas mo na kamay nung nagsasabi ng yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Majority po. Halos lahat ng
wow. So majority nagsabi ng equal opportunity principle is enough to eliminate discrimination. Well, initially, yun ang din ang pangarap natin, that the equal opportunity clause will suffice enough, no, will be sufficient enough, no, para po matiyak na wala tayong gagawing discrimination. Unfortunately, hindi. No? Bakit? Kasi the equal employment opportunity principle refers to practices that are designed so that all applicants and employees are treated similarly without regard to protected characteristics such as race and sex. Tandaan po ninyo yung yung naging kasaysayan ng equal opportunity principle is that galing siya dun sa panahon na merong mga may systems tayo, not only in the Philippines but internationally, no? Kaya nagkaroon ng equal opportunity principle dahil nakita that systems, no, like for example in the HR, meron siyang napapaboran, no? Like for example, meron ka dati before the equal opportunity principle, meron kayong makikita na wanted, male only, wanted, female only. So may mga ganun, no? Wanted, age ganito. So may mga ganun lang. Meron siyang pinapaboran, no? So when the international movement on labor push for equal opportunity principle, no, nagkaroon tayo nito. Yung kaya lang so nailagay doon, equal employment opportunity refers to practices that are designed so that all. So yung konsepto ng all, that more or less make it equal in terms of construct, no, in terms of konsepto, no? And then kaya lang yung similarly without regard to protected characteristics such as race and sex, doon tayo ngayon nagkakaproblema. Why? Because not all applicants, sabi nga, not all applicants are created equal, no? Hindi eh. Buti sana kung wala tayong, like for example, kung meron tayo, number one, for example, may mga applicants tayo, no? Ang isa sa ating mga equal opportunity indicator is that bachelor's degree graduate. Diba? So meron tayong degree, graduate of bachelor's degree for a certain position, o kaya graduate of master's degree, certain position, meron tayong ganyan. So una nating screen now would be the educational attainment, no? Kaya lang, pag tinignan natin yung educational attainment, okay? So although bachelor's degree lahat yan, pag meron ng naging screen, like for example, saan ba graduate? Siyempre, yung graduate ng isang kilalang state university as compared sa graduate ng isang state university o ng isang local college, magkakaroon na yan ng somehow hindi pantay na opportunity towards a certain position. That's why yung equal opportunity principle, medyo smoke screen niya. Hindi niya masyadong ipinapakita or more or less tinatago pa lang niya na para bang, yes, pwede kayong pumasok lahat, no? But we will treat you similarly, no? Kaya lang without regard to protected characteristics such as race, sex, and of course, doon sa binigay ko example kanina, doon sa educational attainment, no? Kasi in reality, pag meron mga graduate yan, halimbawa, graduate yan ng UP as compared to graduate ng isang hindi state university, may mga screens ko minsan na doon sa recruitment process na nilalagyan ng mas match weight yung graduate ng UP than yung hindi graduate ng UP. No, kaya mapapansin natin mas madalas napapaboran yung mga graduate ng UP or ng other state universities. No, so may mga ganon, ano? So yung equal opportunity parang okay, inopen mo yung gate, kailang tanong dito lahat ba nakapasok ay pare-pareho kung saan sila nanggaling, no? So that's why we need to check, no, the construct of equal opportunity. So although there is widespread agreement that equal opportunity is a requirement of justice, okay? Kasi nga lahat pwede na mag-apply as long as you pass doon sa, for example, an initial qualification standards, no? Pero there are also critics of the principle. Equal opportunity is simply a way to legitimate inequalities of wealth, income that are inherently unjust. No, so dyan ngayon papasok si ZC. Okay? Kasi merong mga conditions like gender equality, disability, and social inclusions na siyang nagiging dahilan kung bakit hindi pantay-pantay. Okay? So, when you talk about ZC, we have to take note that we're talking about people. And if you're talking about people from the government agency perspective like the DepEd, you're talking about our public, the population. And take note when you talk about the population, okay, hindi pare-pareho ang ang sitwasyon ng mga tao, no? Meron kang mga tao na kailangang pumila ng sasakyan o pumila para makasakay. Meron kang taong meron silang sasakyan. Okay? So hindi pare-pareho. Meron kang mga pumipila para sa pagkain, merong hindi pumipila sa pagkain. Okay? So at the start of any government programs, projects, or activity, we need to keep in mind that we are giving or servicing the public. And the public is a population with diverse characteristics, no? So ang isa na ditong part ng diversity would be the sex or yung tinatawag natin biological construct. So we have a male and a female. So alam natin, ngayon ilan dyan ang male and female? Can we sex disaggregate the group? Ilan ang male and female natin? Ilan nga pala tayo sa ating grupo ngayon? Ilan tayo sa grupo?
Nasa more than 100 tayo ngayon, but I guess mas marami pa ang female kasi sa male.
Okay, so as you observe it, mas marami ang female natin. Consistent yan with many government agencies. Mas marami yung babae na mga empleyado than lalaki. At well, of course, depende kung saang government agency. Like for example, when I work with DPWH, mas marami ang lalaki at sa some sectors, no? When I work with DOE, yung Department of Energy, mas marami ang lalaki at doon sa ibang mga trabaho, no? But generally speaking, mas marami tayong mga nasa government ngayon na mga kababaihan. Why? Because the government positions, yung ating mga trabaho sa gobyerno, karamihan diyan ay nangangailangan ng academic or educational attainment na graduate ng college. And unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your perspective and values, no? But for me, this is so unfortunate. We see that most in the past 2 decades, mas marami tayong pinapag-graduate at nagiging professional na babae. To think, what do you think? Mas marami bang babae o lalaki sa Pilipinas? Sino naniniwala na mas maraming babae sa Pilipinas? Pakicheck nga, raise your hand. Majority ba? Raise your hand.
Yan, majority na naman po nagsasabi na mas marami ang mga babae sa Pilipinas.
Okay, well, mali ang ating yan. When you check the Philippine Statistics Authority, yung PSA natin, na siyang nagsisensus, no, for 2 decades now, mas marami ng 2% ang lalaki sa population ng Pilipinas. Ngayon, magtataka tayo na saan sila, okay? Well, wala sila sa eskwelahan, mas marami kasing napapag-graduate. Nandun sila sa mga trabaho na hindi na kinailangan graduate. Okay, so kaya mapapansin niyo, like for example, construction industry, mas maraming lalaki doon kaysa sa babae. Okay, so kasi mas maraming mga trabaho doon na panlalaki pa rin nananatili. But my point is, when you talk about population, take note that your population, the number one data that you have right now is that you have male and female in population. And as for the PSA sex ratio, we have 102 males for every 100 females. Mas mataas ng 2% yung males natin than female, no? At meron pa yang segregation by age, no? So when you talk about children, mas marami ng 4% ang children na boys kaysa sa girls. When you talk about the adults, the working adults, the 15 years old to 64 years old na pwede nang mag-work o nag-work na, no? You will find the 102 males for every 100 females. But when you talk about the elderly, yung ating older persons, yung ating senior citizen, you will find the sex ratio malayo, 79 to 80 male for every 100 female. So mas maiksi yung life expectancy ng lalaki kaysa sa babae. So ibig sabihin, pag pinag-usapan natin ang mga elderly, okay, mas marami ang mga babae. And mas maganda ba yon? Maganda ba na mas mahaba yung buhay? Well, of course, in the development process, in the development projects, no, we want both to have, male and female, we want them to both have a a longer quality life, no? Yung merong quality, hindi lang yung mabuhay ka ng mahaba. Kasi kung mabubuhay ka ng mahaba pero naghihirap ka naman, that is agony, no? Pero dito sa kaya pag mapapansin natin ngayon, when you talk about COVID-19, naalala niyo sa COVID-19, inuuna nating binavaccinate yung mga may comorbidities, the seniors and so forth. So we're talking about many of them female, no? So anong ibig kong sabihin? Number one, if you are in the government service, you need to be gender sensitive. You need by starting to point out ilan ng babae, ilan ng lalaki. So if you are in the education sector, ilan ng babae, ilan ng lalaking estudyante, ilan ng babae, ilan ng lalaking teachers, ilan ng babae, ilan ng lalaking administrators, and so forth, no? So we're talking about people, okay? And then of course, when you talk about people, you're not talking about not just about what kind of bodies they have. You also talk about age. Kaya mapapansin nyo sa ating mga personal service forms, no? Yung mapapansin niyo ang una nilang tinatang sa mga ina-update natin palagi yung ating mga anong tawag yan, 201 file at tinatanong at madalas sa mga forms, no? Tatanungin diyan yung name mo. At ang unang tatanungin yung family name, tapos yung given name and then yung middle initial. And the next variable that they will ask or information that they will ask about you would be your sex. Are you a female or a male? Okay, and then the next would be your birthday. Okay, why? Because they need to know if you are part of the children's group, you're part of the adult group, you're part of the older person's group. So legally speaking, when you talk about children, no, sa atin sa Pilipinas, sa legally speaking, ang children ay under 18 years old. So lahat 'yon. And of course, meron tayong mga we consider independent na kahit above 18 years old kung sila ay mayroong mga special conditions and then they are declared as children as well as part of the PWDs or persons with disabilities. And we will talk about that later. But when you talk about adult, that's 18 and above, no? Pero when you talk about economic productivity, o sino yung nagtatrabahong adult, ang legal natin would be 18 papunta sa 64 or bago mag 65, no? Because 65 and above supposed to be magre-retire ka na. So kapag pinag-usapan naman natin ng older person, we're talk about legally, yung retired, no, supposed to be legally, no, sa trabaho, yung 65 and up. So why do in terms of sensitivity, what do we need to understand? Kasi we'll be talking about Gen Z later, no? That age would matter a lot in terms of data. Why? Because when we talk about our population, we should know how many are children, because and how many are older persons or elderly. Because take note that children and the older persons, together with other, like for example, with yung may disabilities, these are all dependents. Sila, yung children at saka yung older persons natin, and of course the PWDs later on, sila ay mga dependents sa ating lipunan, no? So the difference is that the children, as you know in your as part of the DepEd, no, yung children natin dyan, we are nurturing and caring and training them to become independent later on, because we will, in the natural sense of life, they will become adult later on. That's why we are nurturing them, we are preparing them to adulthood, no? So kahit dependent sila ngayon, ang process nila is towards being independent, no? While if you're an adult, no, yung ating nagtatrabaho, kayo, ako, tayong nagtatrabaho pa na adult, we are the ones working, okay, para po masuportahan itong ating mga children at saka older persons, yung mga dependents natin, no? So I'm not just talking about your individual dependents. We're talking about the social, yung ating kabuuang Pilipinas. So pag tinignan nyo ang populasyon ng Pilipinas, yung ating children na nasa inyo ngayon sa DepEd, mga dependents natin yan. That's why we put money to DepEd so that we can invest to the education of our children, so that pagdating nila na adulthood, prepare sila to become adult. So we are preparing them towards adulting later on. Okay? While yung ating older persons naman, okay, sila yung tapos na magtrabaho. And unlike the children, yung ating older persons po, we support them hanggang dun sa end of life. At hindi na sila magiging independent later on. Unlike the children. No? So ito talagang yung pag-support natin sa older persons is towards the end of life na nila. That's why as much as possible, we want to have elderly persons na hindi ganun kasakitin, because the sakitin na elders would mean we need to put more money to health, no? So kaya at gusto natin maging quality of life sila, kasi gusto natin yung dependency nila ay productive pa rin kahit wala sila doon sa loob ng bahay, hindi sila kailangan, ay loob ng trabaho, hindi natin sila kailangang asikasuhin in terms of halimbawa tayo pa kasi kung nagkamaga sila nagkasakit, aalagaan tayo, papakainin tayo, papakain natin sila rather, no? So may mga ganon. So we want to have a longer life, pero gusto natin quality of life that they can fend for themselves, no? Ang bibigay, kaya sa ibang bansa po, no, binibigyan sila ng mga facilities na kung saan yung mga older persons, sila pa rin ang namimili sa groceries for their needs, no? Hindi sila kailangang ibang sa kanila, but the facilities are there, no? So mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. So another one, so population natin, meron siyang age, meron siyang yung sex, yung biology, and then of course, yung capacities and role. That we have bodies na may capacity to bear a child, like for example, yung female body has the capacity to bear a child, okay? While the male body doesn't have the capacity to bear a child, no? Pero pwede naman siyang mag-alaga. And you have, kaya lang, okay? Yung capacity nandoon, no? But yung roles, unfortunately, when you talk about the roles, no? May mga lipunan like the Philippines, no? Ang konsepto nila, the primary caregiver pa rin should be, kahit nakapananganak na si nanay, should be the nanay. So mapapansin nyo, pag pumunta kayo sa mga health centers, si nanay pa rin ang palaging dapat magdala ng anak sa health centers, no? Pag pumunta kayo sa eskwelahan, marami dyan, nanay pa rin ang unang-unang naghahatid sa eskwelahan. So siguro, ito yung mga dapat nating inaaral. Ano na ba? Nagbago na ba o hindi, no? Well, in fact, pag sa gender and development, ang ating pong priority is to train everyone towards shared responsibilities, no? So yan, shared responsibilities ang tawag. Okay. So then, dahil tayo sa government, wala po tayong ginagastos sa government na hindi para sa development goals. Hindi pwede ang isang gobyerno ay gumagastos ng hindi para sa development. Dapat lahat ng gastusin natin hanggang sa huling kusing ay para mapaunlad ang ating Pilipinas, no? That's why if you are in the government service, you have to make sure that when you talk about access programs, opportunities programs, participation programs, decision-making processes, benefits programs, no? Dapat pareho silang iniisip ninyo, yung babae, yung lalaki, no? So, kaya importante when we offer access to education, make sure we give access to boys and girls. Unfortunately, the number one gender issue problem of the DepEd is the boys' low performance in key education indicators. That's the number one, no? So boys natin ang nadidislodge ng inyong opportunities na binibigay. Okay? And then of course, when you talk about people in all of our projects, programs, and activities, we're talking about men and women, boys and girls, no? So palagi na, pag gender sensitive ka, yun ang palagi mong iniisip na ang gagamit nitong mga materialis na to, ang gagamit nitong mga proseso na to ay mga babae at lalaki. So if you are in the HR, no, lahat ng projects, programs, activities, processes, policies natin, dapat it should be gender responsive. Kailangan alam natin yung datos unang-una na. Kasi kung halimbawa ganyan. Well, of course sa Pilipinas ang overall mas marami yung lalaki in terms of population. Pero pag pumunta ka na doon sa mga areas, like for example in education, mas marami yung babae. So kaya kayo sa education, bakit mas marami yung babae? Yun ang tanong nyo. Ang tatanungin nyo ngayon, ang aanuhin nyo ngayon ay, nasaan yung mga lalaki? Okay, so mag-e-end na naman. Every 10 minutes, mag-e-end yung ating Zoom. Can you check on that? Kasi mukhang every 10 minutes. Remaining meeting time is 9 po, no? So in 15 seconds, mag-o-off na naman ako. Wala ba, mukhang ganun yung platform. Okay, so ganyan, ano, men and women. Okay, so ngayon, when you talk about gender and development, of course, this is it's a development perspective. It seeks to achieve gender equality, and it contends that women are active agents of anong tawag dito, of development. So dapat when you talk about GEDC, you're talking about gender equality, then kailangan po natin itong mapag-isipan, no, na dapat sensitive tayo dun sa mga datos ng population in terms of sex, in terms of age, in terms of capacities and roles, in terms of anong tawag dyan, being men and women in our society. Okay? Sige po, so tuloy tayo. So, are you familiar with the Sustainable Development Goals? Siguro you're familiar with this one. This is the international 17 goals to transform our world. It's called Sustainable Development Goals. It started in 2016 and it's supposed to end. Yung timetable ng Sustainable Development Goals is until 2030. So ito po ay kasunod ng ating Millennium Development Goals mula 2000 to 2015. No, so yung international community kasama na ang Pilipinas nag-agree that when you talk about development, okay, ang framework natin is sustainability, meaning it's a development that we can push, okay, towards the next generations. Okay, hindi yung ngayon lang, hindi yung development na pakikinabangan lang ng kasalukuyang generation, kundi ng susunod pang mga henerasyon. And when there are 17, international ito, 17. So no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable energy, decent work and economic growth, economic industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and 17 partnerships for goals, no? So, meron tayong 17 goals to transform our world and call it Sustainable Development Goals until 2030. What we'll be talking about is gender equality and which is the GE, yung gender, Gen Z, and the DSI, the disability and social inclusion, is under the SDG 10. Okay? So take note that when you talk about, when we will talk about gender equality and we're talking about reduced equality, types of youth,
lang gamit ng to pinapay balance ng from 60 plus. So katong 2035 repeat order yang karon sa checklist diri sa accounting na sila ikuan dito nga posting appeal gives posting above 50,000.
meron tayong
Umal
participant
ko siya kung sa
naman siya.
small value sa shopping.
May participant na
Repeat order, wala.
Lagi kay kaya ang kuan mo sa repeat order dito man ang cost ay ang ikuan kundi ang item.
Oh,
Ang item
doon may qualify pa siya sa within 6 months.
Qualify pa siya. Qualify pa siya. Dili na kay kung mo feel jips
Generic, basta generic to ilang buwan
okay,
checklist.
kung mo feel jips ka sa
Okay. So yung ating isang grupo nagmo-multitask, okay? So anyway, so we're talking about three halos nasa among the sustainable goals, no? So the gender equality, the reduced inequalities in the light of you doing quality education. Kasi kayo ang deliverables nyo sa DepEd, quality education, no? But they're doing the GEDC because we want to contribute to gender equality and we want to contribute to number 10, reduce inequalities, no? Sige po. Next. So, dun sa reduce inequalities, dito papasok po yung ating, anong tawag dyan, issue for the PWDs and issue on other kinds of inequalities, no? So, these are hindi ko na tatanggapin to, hindi ko na di-discuss ito. So, we'll have this international target for the reduced inequalities. So we have reduced income inequalities, promote universal social, economic, and political inclusion, ensure equal opportunities and end discrimination. Kaya natin ginagawa ang GEDC. Adopt fiscal and social policies that promotes equality. Kaya po kayo naglalagay ng GEDC sa prime. Improve regulation of global financial market institutions and so forth and so on. Okay? So yan po. So, are you aware of the ambition natin 2040? So ito po yung dapat aware po kayo kasi yung ating po mga estudyante na inaalagaan ngayon, sila po ang supposed to be pinagplanuhan natin ng 2040 ambition for the Philippines. So the ambition natin 2040. This is the long-term plan so far of the Philippine government na it encompasses the government direction from 2016 up to 2040. So lahat po ng ginagawa nyo sa government agency supposed to be hanggang 2040 para maabot natin yung matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay para sa lahat. So kung sino man yung inyong estudyante ngayon, kahit 5 years old pa lang yan, magiging 20 plus years old na siya by 2040. So ibig sabihin siya na yung isang adult, no? So yung mga teachers na tinitrain nyo ngayon na nasa 20, sila po ay nasa 40s na by then, no? Yung mga teachers na inaalaga nyo, kinakakapacitate nyo by nasa age 20s and 30s ngayon, sila po ang magmamana nitong 2040. Ako, I'm 56 years old. I will be 70 something by 2040. The ambition natin is not my ambition anymore, or it's not the plan for me anymore, because I would be given the life expectancy in the Philippines. Ang babae is nasa around 73 to 74, yung lalaki is nasa parang 67 to 70, and so gano'n, ano. So ako, by then parang wala na. But the people that we train right now, the people that we nurture right now, no, the children that we nurture right now, the teachers that we capacitate right now, they will be the one who will lead Okay, not only the government, but the entire Philippine society by 2040. So we need to proceed from here towards that ambisyon. So ay ibig sabihin po, lahat ng ginagastos natin ngayon ay pinapangako ang ambisyon natin 2040 since 2016. So pag umuutang tayo sa labas, ipinapangako natin because we have the ambition natin 2040. Palaging humihingi ng ambisyon ng investment ang mga nagiging presidente, na humihingi ng investment from outside dahil hindi naman natin kayang i-raise. Like for example, next year we will have a 5-point-something trillion pesos na government budget, pero ang kinikita lang natin ng ating Pilipinas o nating lahat ay nasa almost a trillion lang. Yung 2-something trillion, uutangin natin madalas yan. At habang umuutang tayo, yan ang ipinapangako natin, the ambition. So, might as well, kailangan every time that we do our work, because our work in the government is based on utang and the income of our current productive citizens, no? Sana naman maabot nga natin itong matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay para sa lahat. And the vision for Filipinas for Self in 2040, we will enjoy a stable and comfortable lifestyle, secure in the knowledge that we have enough for our daily needs and unexpected expenses, that we can plan and prepare for our own and our children's future. Our family lives together in a place of our own, but yet we have the freedom to go where we desire, protected and enabled by clean, efficient, and fair government. So kaya importante po yung partisipasyon ng mga tao because we need to have a clean, efficient, and fair government, no? And what is gender in this one, no? Take note that our ambition 2040 still refers to the self, to the family, to the communities, no? So ito ay isang pangarap na para sa pamilya, para sa tao, para sa komunidad. And take note ng pamilya, yung komunidad, yung tao, yung self, gendered po yan. No? So walang gender